Well, let's look a little deeper here into Bill 100, Keeping Ontario Open for Business Act. Now, ostensibly, this is about we can't assemble or protest near anything. No definition of near. Anything that's infrastructure that has to do with trade, money, rails, airports. Well, just about everything, really, if you kind of sift into it a little bit. There's quite a bit of mention of the Department of Highways, the MOT, and the CROV, all of which control, to some extent and to various degrees, highways and roads. I'm pointing out at that one. So, you're leaning up against the traffic sign, you're protesting, you're wearing a poppy. Well, it's pretty well wide open. Anyways, I'd watched this bill develop in our Ontario provincial parliament, which I usually don't pay much mind to provincial. But is it just perchance that Ontario passes this bill and our capital city, Ottawa, is there? Here, there. Where there are protesters assembled again and assembling further. I don't think it's just perchance. The government's spin and suffering through watching the provincial parliament proceedings, the Solicitor General had said that, as the bill got supposedly debated, it was to protect trade because of the millions of dollars that were lost in February due to the bridges and border crossings. Note the plurality. Bridges, plural, border crossings, plural, that were closed, and the millions of dollars of desperately needed trade that were lost. Well, let's take a step back here. How many millions was it? And, hey, millions to the government's chump change. They talking billions and trillions now. But there's the Solicitor General's number, should you wish to flood their lines with voicing your thoughts on this bill. If we go to Coutts, Alberta, the one border crossing that was shut down, it's out in the middle of nowhere in the prairies. Big, long service roads on each side of the highway. And protesters had gathered on those service roads. They weren't blocking the highway. They weren't even on the highway. 100 yards each side. The RCMP came along and the protesters said, yes, we're expecting some more people to come. And the RCMP's reaction to that was to close the highway. Because the RCMP closed the highway. Well, Albertans being the Albertans that they are, they just got in their tractors and trucks and drove right around the police blockade, bringing in supplies to the protesters who had thought they were free to come and go. It was then still our legal right to assemble and protest. But instead, they got stuck behind a police barricade. Supplies had to be brought into them. They hadn't planned on being there. Most of them thought, we'll drive in, join the protest, go home for dinner. No, it was the government, the RCMP, that shut down that one border crossing. The other one, the Peace Bridge between Windsor and Detroit, I'm not exactly sure how that transpired. I was too busy at the time with everything else. But were I to hazard a guess, I'd say much similar happened. And I might add, if I haven't mentioned it already, the supposed millions of dollars in lost trade wasn't lost, it was delayed. And the bridges well, bridges, there I go. The bridge and the border crossing were cleared peacefully without the need for the Emergency Measures Act. So yeah, I guess that pretty well sums it up. Don't be leaning up against a street sign wearing a flag or a poppy. No siree.